Hi everyone. Please like and share as a comment, guys. Guys, if you can hear me, do let me know in the comment section. Diana Little said, man needs extradited back to Nigeria and placed to go to jail. I would rather he goes to jail here in the UK before they send him back to Nigeria. Yeah, I would rather I would rather he spends his jail time here in the UK before they send him back to Nigeria. So I'm just going to start it and hopefully others will join us. So quick introduction. My name is Wemimo, also known as Stat Mama 5. And also known as TM5 Kanduko. If you're new to my channel, welcome. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for always coming back. So this video is the concluding part of the live stream I did yesterday. So this is going to be the concluding and second part of it. So I did reach out to this Save Our Children's Future UK, this organization, if I could play the video. So they reached back to me to say no, that I can't use it. So I took my time. I watched the entire 2 hours, 7 minutes. A few of you have reached out to me to ask for the link, and I hope you've already watched it as well. So I took my time to watch the entire 2 hours. So there was a lot of, they were asking him, like, oh, in case you don't know, he's a Nigerian married man. He's a 43-year-old Nigerian man who is married and who has 2 children of his own, and is living in a flat with his own brother and his own niece. So which means that he's living in the same house as his brother, who also has a female child. So his niece, from the video that I watched yesterday, his niece is a 13-year-old girl as well. So obviously these people said no, that they are not going to, that they did not give me the permission to use. Obviously I was going to play the video and the important part of it, but they were like no. So I'd rather take the note and use it and then they strike my video. So upon watching the video yesterday, I made a few notes, and it was so sad to watch, guys. It was so sad to watch. It was so sad to watch. Let me get my notes up. It was absolutely sad to watch. And at some point, let me start from how I wrote the notes down. So according to these people, this organization, their main purpose is that they get in touch once they are able to get a clue or information that there's a certain person speaking to minors. Okay, so that's how they do. Was able to get confirmation, and I believe they use some decoy. They use some people to act as if they are minors. I think they used them because when I went to watch the video, they kind of like put information about those who acted as decoy. So maybe those are the people that they used who was chatting other people up on the other side. With this man now, for example, he was probably chatting to a decoy who was acting as a child, and this Mumu man continued chatting with him. So David Ade, what's his name again? David something, that's his name. He resides in Woolwich. So according to the guys, they have evidence of him chatting to 6 children, all of them within the age of 14, because we're minors. They have evidence of his chat, his conversation with 6 children, with evidence. And from that video, the guys mentioned that there's 3 other children whom he has allegedly communicated with, but they are still investigating that. So in total, that will be 9 minors. And his offense was that he's been speaking to a particular one, which they are still investigating also, for about a month. For 1 month, he's been chatting to that person, that minor. He was, how they say, ask for pictures. He was not asking, he was demanding. demanding for inappropriate images to be sent to him. Yes, that was what this man, David, I did Bambo, I did whatever. That was what he did. He was demanding that these minors whom he was chatting with should send him inappropriate video, pictures and videos. And at some point, one of the minors he was chatting with, there was a possibility that he was going to meet with either of these minors. Yes, there was a possibility that he was going to meet with them because he allegedly, there is not even allegedly now. He allegedly, let me continue using allegedly. He allegedly said that he was going to teach one of those minors he was talking to how to drive. So guys, you know, if he was going to teach them how to drive, and the normal legal age that you can learn to drive here in the UK, I think is 16, 17. But he's been talking to a 14-year-old and he's saying that, oh, I will teach you how to drive. So which means that that is a possibility of him meeting with such child in a disclosed area, apparently made this, have his way with that child, run away, and then, you know, that's probably his plan before he was caught. And he also was like, when he was speaking to one of the child, that he was surprised. I think at the very first beginning of the video, the guy did not realize the kind of trouble he has entered. He did not have a clue whatsoever what problem he has put himself to. That I didn't mean it. You know that R. Kelly song, I don't mean it. I don't mean it. See, every time that man was saying, I didn't mean it, it is that R. Kelly song that was just entering my head. I don't mean it. I don't mean it. Pam, pam, I don't mean. Guys, I know this is not funny, but I just felt so irritated watching him talk. You know, that's what I'm trying to say. To be clear, you know, for myself, to clear myself. What are you clearing yourself? So it was like at some point, it was like, and when he was talking to that child, and the child said she was 14, and he was like, I was surprised. I was surprised that such a child, like in the first place, you'll be married man. You have 2 children. What are you doing on a dating app? So it was like I was saying that the child should go and speak to his mom, to her mom. And one of the guys questioned him, did you tell the child to go and speak to her mom that she was talking to a stranger? He said no. And the guys were like, so how then do you expect the child? So are you expecting the child to read your mind that, oh, let me go and tell my mom that I'm speaking to a minor? So you know what, there's back and forth. Why did you do it? Why did you do it? Why did you do it? And he kept on, I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. At some point, he was smiling. I was just like, I was shaking my head for this guy that, oh, I don't think he knows what he has put himself into. And like, why did you do it? Well, like, when he comes back from school and is bored, he chats them up. And these people are like, why don't you chat to adults? So this guy is not only chatting up minors, he's also chatting up other women behind his wife's back. Osila said, them things in him thinks say him day for Nigeria for that. Exactly. And when I went onto Instagram, there are lots of apologists. Like, what was a 14-year-old doing on a dating app? What was a 14-year-old doing on a date? And I was like, in the first place, he is married. What was the married man looking for on a dating app? And I was at the same time, I'm going to ask everybody that has been obviously saying, what was the child doing on a dating app? At your age, when you were a teenager, when you were a teenager, have you not gone against what your parents had advised you not to do? Have you not? Like, for me, that my parents were like, be careful the kind of friends you move about with at school. Be careful about the kind of friends you move about school. That did not stop me from going with some of my friends when we skipped school. Yeah, we skipped school a few times. I skipped school with some of my, on a normal day, I don't have the liver to skip school. But because I saw my friends doing it, I followed suit. Even though my parents have warned me not to do it. So how many of you did not do what your parents advised you against? Because they were like, what was a 14-year-old doing on a dating app? And I understand those people who came to question this guy were like, you know what? Yes, we understand that she was a child. She shouldn't be. But then, when you were a young teenager, have you never done something your parents asked you not to do? Which is a genuine question. They said they understand that, yes, she was a child. She shouldn't be on a dating app. But you said you were bored. What are you doing on a dating app as a married man? So he's not only into children, he's into, like, he's talking to other female behind his wife's back. He's talking because from when it was, I wish I could share that video with you, but you guys, if you really want to have a full understanding of this video, that video, I'm going to share the link, like the page on my community post. Go to Facebook and find them. The video is a 2 hour 7 minutes long. And then at some point, obviously, the guys were like, oh, I did not ask for pictures. The guy was like, yes, you asked. You did not even ask. You demanded. And when this child refused to send you pictures, you were angry. In the comments, you said you were angry when you were demanding the picture because this child will not give you the pictures. You were angry with the child because the angry did not send you inappropriate pictures of herself. Somebody that has 2 children of his own and is living in the same flat as his brother's child. He has a niece who is 13 years old. And then, so when they went to that house, they were obviously hush. They didn't want the children or anybody in the house to know about what was going on. So he said he's been married for 9 years. He stays in Woolwich, and his wife and his children are part of his student visa. So he's on a student visa. So these are the notes I took so that we have a clear understanding. So he's on a student visa, and just like I said, he demanded inappropriate pictures from 6 minor children with evidence from these people. And like I said earlier on, there's other evidences. There's other 3 children whom they felt he's been communicating with as well, and they are still investigating that one. So while they were talking, obviously maybe they've been out for like hours talking to him. His wife came and they did not film the wife. They showed what she was wearing, and she was like, what was going on? And they told her that, no, this is why we have come here. And she was like, oh no, he will never do that. His wife was standing up for him. He will never do that. He's not the kind of a person. He will never do that. And these people were like, well, we are telling you, we have evidence. We have evidence of the things he's done. And he kept saying, I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. That was not my intention. I didn't mean it. Like, that's not what they're asking you. Why did you do it? So the guys were like, okay, now that we are men now, can you ask me as a man to send you my pictures? He said no. And they asked him why. Because we are men. We don't look, no. So he's into children. Minors. He definitely knew what he did was wrong. He still went ahead. This child told you that she was 14 years old. On a normal day, that is where that conversation should end. You continued. And like I said, I won't be surprised if he has waylaid all those children, all those young children on the street of Nigeria, if he has done something similar to them and give them 5,000 naira to cover their mouth so that they don't tell their parents. I won't be surprised if he has done something like this before in Nigeria, before he left. And he's only been here for a year. He's only been in the UK for a year. Only in the UK for a year. Your wife is not enough to satisfy your pleasure. His body will never mature. Children. Obviously, in this country, you see 14-year-old, they look so big. But then when they tell you their age, you'll be like, you are this age with this kind of body. But then, as an African man with brain, being a father himself, a husband, he kept continue talking to those children, asking them, demanding, not even asking, demanding they send him inappropriate pictures of themselves. That was what this man did. And like I said, the first 30 minutes of them questioning him, he had no clue what he has got himself into. He was, laughing, like he's got this, and at some point, he started crying. They were like, no, you're not crying. You're crying because you got caught. You're not crying because you knew that what you did was wrong. Like I said, his wife came out, started pleading, please, just let him apologize. If he apologizes, both of them think that it's a matter of apology. No, it was not a matter of apology. It's a crime. And the wife was like, he will never do this. And you know what? Use this as a warning for him. If he ever has this issue again, that since he has been in this country, that even in Nigeria, he has never had any police issue. So even since he's been in this country, he's never had any police issue, blah, 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 blah. That was the wife, that they should use this opportunity. They should use this one as a warning to warn him. So he won't do that again. And these men were like, no, this is not a matter of warning. 6 children, and there's unverified, like the ones that are still investigating. 3 other children, they are still investigating. And he said that when he asked those kids for those pictures, he claimed that he asked them to send their pictures so that they will stop talking to him. Like, no, because if such child was such a who is maybe used to doing stuff like that, that child would have sent that picture to you, and you asked for more, and you asked to meet that child. That was the reason he gave. He said, I asked for those images so that the minor will stop chatting with me. Like, All fault still goes to him. Being a married man, being a father of 2 children of his own, what was he doing on a dating app? And at some point, he asked one of those minors if they were a virgin. Yeah. He asked one of those minors he was chatting with if that child was a virgin. And they were like, what explanation does he have? He said, according to my religion, I said, as if I knew religion was school. According to my religion, I believe in sex, and then he changed it again. I believe in no intimacy before marriage, that he was going to advise. You were on a dating app. You were not there to give advice. You, Abi, people, those of you that are watching me, do you go on dating app to go and be advising people whether to collabo or not to collabo, whether to kerewa or not to kerewa? Is that what they go to do there? People that are on dating apps, you go to social dating app to go and advise somebody not to meet up to kerewa. Or you go on that person, you find a match, you tell the person, now that I've matched with you, don't kerewa with anybody because my Bible says this, my Bible says that. Even while he started saying that, as a Christian, one of the guys gave him a Bible verse. I don't know that Bible verse off head. It was what's the Bible verse called now? Matthew chapter 18, verse 6. If any of you has the Bible, please type it in the comment section. One of the guys who came to arrest him gave him, said that you've only been in the UK for a year and you are doing these things. How many more? Like, so far, if we count the other 3 that they are still investigating, that's 9 minors he has been talking to in the past 1 year that he's been in the UK. And he still is validating his own wife. And he still had in mind of talking to minors. And the guy was like, do you know that's cheating? Oh, he said, no, I have not cheated. The man said, yes, because you have a wife. Or this thing that you are doing, does your wife know about it? He said, no. And the man said, yeah, that's cheating. And you agree that it's not even this minors alone that you are talking to. You are talking to other women. He's talking to other women. And if you look at the man looks like a one old village man like that. You need to look at him. A student, though, he will only be working 20 hours per week. His wife will be the one working in the cold full time to pay school fees. Where's my note? Because I actually, like I said, I watched that video in its all entirety. And they also said children as young as 13 years old. One of those minors he was talking to was also 13 years old, and he claimed he was chatting to them for fun. Yeah, it's not a crime to chat with a minor on a normal day. And yes, I agree, minors should not be on dating app, should not be on dating sites. You can communicate with a minor on the streets. Oh, hello, how are you? Oh, be careful. No, on a dating app, you don't have business with them. Especially when they tell you, oh, that's their real age. And you're like, it's because I don't believe that age. I don't believe that's the age because all these children, they lie, they fake their profile, they do this, they do that. Those were the rubbish he was saying. Like, are you a dating app police? Or you are a dating app pastor? Because I really don't understand his intentions. Well, I actually know his intentions. He was just using those, the guys would ask him questions. He would try to divert the answer. Here in the UK, even before I started driving, I have to learn how to drive. I have to go to driving school. I have to so stupid answers he was giving. And I was just like, hey, I felt like giving him basketballs from the phone. They asked him that you said you were going to teach one of the girls how to drive. And this girl you are telling that you're going to teach her to drive is only 14 years old. So that's you planning to meet. No. Even me, before I started driving in this UK, I have to know to go to driving school. Yes, because I know in this UK, we have to go to driving school. No, how is that response tallying with the question he was asked? He knew what he's gotten it. By that time, in reality was starting to come into him that I don't enter Yawa. At some point, he started shaking. They told him to sit down on the floor. The camera was on him 24/7 because those people were live. Immediately they arrived at his door, they started live streaming live on Facebook for over 2 hours. He said he was chatting with them for fun. It was for fun. So while his wife was keep coming back, his wife was crying, saying that please, he's never been in jail before. His wife was begging, crying on his behalf, even when she heard what they said her husband has done. That can never be me. It can never be me. Immediately I heard that that's what he's done, I will tell them to no, please, so don't involve me. It's him. I will shut my door, enter inside the house, go and stay with my children. This woman came out crying. You could hear in the video she was crying, begging, totally distrusted. Distraught. She was totally distraught. You could hear her voice crying. I'm telling you, it can never be me. Immediately they told me when the wife came out and they told her, this is what your husband did. I would say, okay. you've come to the right person. That's the person. I'm going to go inside and excuse you guys. I'm going to, if I was his wife, that was what I would have done. That was what I would have done. You know, it's so crazy. Like, so it will probably would have met with those children or one of them, taken them somewhere, took advantage of that child, leave them and run. It would have met, because that's how they groom. They groom all these young stars, young children. They groom them, they meet them, take advantage of them, and they disappear. And then you will go on to the next one that has been chatting with. What if these people who interceded, if they've not had, if they've not intervened, it will have met with these youngsters. It will have met. And then the guys ask him, hi Precious, one of the men asked him that he should apologize to his wife. He could not look his wife in the face, and he did not apologize either. One of the men said, apologize to your wife. He did not apologize. Those guys say several times. He did, in fact, he had his head in his hand like that. He had his hand in his hand like that. He could not look at his wife in the face. He was sitting on the floor. His wife was just by his right hand side, standing. The guy said, apologize to your wife. He could not look at his wife's face, talk more, say, I am sorry. If he looked the wife's face, he did not say, I'm sorry either. A typical Nigerian man. He did not apologize to his wife. He did not apologize. And then they asked him that, oh, for what has happened now? Will your wife stay with you? Oh, he said, my wife loves me. My wife loves me. You see how he got, my wife loves me. Those ones were putting what they're helping him, like he was digging a deeper hole for himself, and he was entering into that hole. They asked him if his wife would stay with him. He replied that, oh, my wife loves me. And he was like, I'm sorry. And those guys were like, no, bruh, you're not sorry. You're only sorry you got caught. You're not sorry because if you have put your cucumber, if you have met one of those panels and put your cucumber in them, you would have got scot away free. And that's why I said that it doesn't look as if it's never, it probably has done something similar in Nigeria before he left. It might not be on a dating app. It might just be a young girl on the street where he's living. Or it might just be a neighbor's child. Those are the kind of uncles that will take their neighbor's children and be grinding their cucumber against them. That is what this kind of men would do in Nigeria. For him to have the boldness to be able to do it, talk on a dating app, saying, I was surprised, you need to look at his gesture. I was actually surprised, like 14 years old on a dating app. Mr. Man, bruh, what were you doing on that dating app in the first place? Hello, Uzo Entertainment, my beautiful sis, how are you? Happy weekend. It was like, when I was watching that video, I was like, hey, this guy does not know the kind of wahala he has entered, though. This guy don't know the kind of wahala he has entered, though. It was like, I was surprised, I was really, really surprised. And he had this cheeky smile on his face. I was really surprised, In fact, I did not even believe, And I was thinking that, you should go and speak to his mom. And the guy was like, did you tell the child to go and speak to her mom? He said, no. Common sense should have been block, end that conversation, block, and get out of the app. But he stood there. 6 children, 6 minors he was chatting to. And I was so disappointed and embarrassed when we started saying, Lord have mercy on me. He started saying, Lord have mercy on me. Lord have mercy on me. And one of those guys said, you are a fake Christian. And that was where the guy gave him a Bible verse of Matthew chapter 18, verse 6. Said, you are a fake Christian. You're not a good Christian. You are the kind of people who go to church, and those were the things those men were saying to you. You're not a fake Christian. You are saying God should have mercy on you. Did you ever thought of the damage you've done to those minors we were talking to? That even your own child, that the police will have to question your niece and your own children to be sure that you've not touched them. And exactly that's what's going to happen. The police will have to come interview the other children in the house to be sure that he has not used his hands to kill them. Ray said, you did drag our Equatorial Guinea brother for Kelewa with multiple women, but they drag your Yoruba brother. Imagine this hypocrisy. Like, what are you talking about? Are you okay, Ray? Are you okay? Make the comment you just dropped, make it make sense. I don't have your time, man. So they were saying to him that, you know what, you are saying God should have mercy on you. Have you thought of the effects of your actions on those minors you were talking to? Have you thought of the effect this thing is going to have on your own wife? Have you thought of the effect of you not being able to see your children again? Because yes, the police, once they hand him over to the police is going to have to come interview the children that are living with him to be sure he's not touched them in any way. The story where you know what make his children, the things he has done that he does not want his children to know, they will eventually find out. He has his own wife, 2 children, and a niece. They are living together in a place. And then you can't talk to those people in the house that you have. If you are bored, you can't talk to them, you can't talk to your wife, but it's minors on a dating app. Like, what freaking late? So the wife at home is not even enough. Is like the kind of satisfaction his wife is giving at home is not enough. Now small children he now wants to go after. 6 of them, and there's 3 that has been linked to him that were still being investigated. And those guys were asking that, oh, you're asking God to have mercy on you. Have you prayed for those family whose children you've messed with? Because you've introduced, maybe those children have never even been, ever had such conversation with anybody before, which I doubt. Okay. And this is what, like, have you ever prayed for them or their families? You're saying God should have mercy on you. Have you prayed for your own wife with this thing that you've dragged her into? Or what the repercussion will probably be for you at the end of the day? And they also asked him, have you ever asked how those children you were chatting with, how they are faring, their mental health, their emotional health? Have you ever asked, since they've been there questioning you, that, oh, how are those children? I hope they are okay. No, but Bra was praying for himself. The man was praying for himself. By this time, during that part of the video, he was on the floor. I think for the remaining last half an hour, he was no longer crying. He was no longer answering any questions anymore. He was just shaking his head. He was keeping quiet. And all of this time, it was his wife who was pleading and crying. And those people were like, you know what? This man doesn't deserve you. It doesn't deserve you. And we hope, and those men were like telling the wife that we hope, they were telling the man that we hope she throws you out of the house. But then the possibility of that not even happening, the wife does not even have to throw him out of the house because yes, they might hold him because when they were questioning him, they were waiting for the police to arrive. And yes, the police arrested him. The police came, they confirmed his ID. One of the men went to go brief the police officers because 2 police officers came. One of the officers went to go, one of the guys went to go and brief one of the officers what was happening. A few minutes later, the police officers came, read him his rights, and put handcuffs on him. And before the police officers came, one of the guys who came to speak to him was talking to his wife that one. And before then, his wife was now asking those men, has he been found guilty? That was the question. That wife, in fact, at some point, I felt like, what kind of woman is this? That this woman is not sharp at all. What is he guilty? Somebody is telling you, they are telling you that your husband was starting up minor children, 6 minor children. And there's evidence to prove that he was doing it. And while she was standing there, they were asking him questions. This man actually agreed to be guilty. He said, I agreed. Yes, I did. He confessed to those things they accused him of. And the wife was asking, has he been found guilty? And this man said, no, what? Whether he's been found guilty or not, but he has admitted his guilt and they caught it on camera. He has admitted to the guilt. And they told him, we have faced your wife and tell her what you've done. He couldn't. He couldn't even look his wife in the face. He had his head in his hand like that, covering his face. He was not able to look at his wife in the face to say, babe, this is what happened. He could not. They asked him to apologize to his wife. He could not utter an apology. But then he went on to apologize to those guys. And those guys were like, come, it's not a matter of you apologizing. You have scarred those children. You have scarred those children. And one of the guys in the video was like saying, they have other concerns. Has he been in this act since he came into the UK? Because we don't know. He said he's been in the UK for a year. So the concerns those guys were asking were like, we are concerned and we have to be certain that we have detailed information to be sure. Has he been doing this since he entered the UK? Obviously, like I mentioned earlier, when his wife said, "Oh, he has never had any issue with the police in Nigeria before, and since he came into the UK, he has never had any issue." Well, he's never had any issue. Obviously, maybe just maybe he knows how to cover his back, so he doesn't get arrested until he was caught this time around. How many more unknown children, minors, has he done this to? Maybe he's jumping from one dating app to another. This man is a total disgrace. After all, some Nigerian men will come, hey, don't bring your wife to the abroad. This one brought his wife to the abroad and he's still messed up. The one with the inside house is not enough to satisfy him. What does he want in a minor children body? He was demanding for inappropriate images, inappropriate pictures from minor children. What if that was his child? Somebody was doing that too. What if that was his own child on a dating app and another man who was pretending to be a 20-something-year-old man was asking his own child or his own niece same question? How would he feel? In my own opinion, I want him to be jailed here. Let him serve his jail time and then send his ass back to Nigeria and ban him from ever entering anywhere again. He should go jail as Nigeria. He should remain in Nigeria. The worst crime you can ever commit is committing a crime of abuse towards children. The worst crime you can ever commit against children is abuse. Worst crime you can ever commit against children is abuse. And you would think that he would know better being a father himself. One of his children is a female. Yeah, he has 2 kids. One of his own children is actually a girl. And I love the fact that those guys were asking him that, what if it was your niece that somebody was demanding inappropriate naked pictures from? What if that was your daughter? The woman had nothing to say. And I felt disgusted watching him. And I was like, if this was in Nigeria, they would have given him correct beating. There are still people like him back home in Nigeria who are doing something similar. You will hear of news of a 75-year-old man who forced himself on a 13-year-old child. At the end of the day, police will gather him. If they're able to bring money, they will release the culprits. And the innocent child will be left to suffer. There are many cases like that happening in Nigeria. In recent times, I've seen nothing less than 5 of those news in a week. Is it the one that a landlord's son forced himself on a tenant's daughter? And these people, they went to the police station, obviously because they had money. And because the landlord already said, nothing will happen. Can you imagine? Nothing will happen. And yes, they went to the police, so the police were not willing to do anything. At the end of the day, this child's parents who was being abused, his parents, the child's parents couldn't do anything. They silenced them with power and money. They silenced them. There's many more cases like this happening in Nigeria. So Nigerian men that are out there, if you're in Nigeria and you don't know how to put your langba in one place, and you should not even stop your langba with an adult woman. It is now children you want to come and do. More gonna come inside, more gonna come. They'll be using the likes of you as example. And when you enter prison here in the UK for such offenses, you'll be lucky if they put you in a segregated area. Because if they put you amongst other people and they found out what you came into, that your floor that you are protecting, they will help you to bastardize it. Because I was checking the comment section on Instagram, and there are so many apologists in there. So many apologists in there. And those people as well, if it was the same country, I wish they would just sweep in on one of them after each other, sweep on them and look at the kind of life they are living. Maybe they are possibly doing the same as well in Nigeria to their neighbor's child or even to their own sister or their own extended family's children. So those of you that are saying, if you are coming to abroad, if you are coming to Europe, don't bring your wife because they will do this. No, women, if you are coming abroad, don't bring your man. If you're a woman and you are coming abroad, leave that man back home in Nigeria. You come here. Don't let him to come and cook boxy yellow. Don't let such man to come and pour sand into your gari. Because now, this thing that he has done is on a student visa. It's going to affect his wife and his 2 children. It's going to affect his wife and his 2 children. If they don't jail him and they decide to deport him straight away, his wife and children will have to go back. And the man who was questioning was like, you know what? You came from Nigeria to provide good living, good means of life for your family. Look at what you've done to ruin that. Look at what you've done to ruin that, because now what you've done is going to affect your wife and your 2 children. You're going to go back to Nigeria. Look at what you've done. And thinking of how much he has spent, school fees, travel fees, in order to be able to become with his family. And that because he couldn't put his wandering cucumber in one place. And he admitted in that video that, oh, I talked to other people as well. And those people were like, so you talk to other women as well. Does your wife know you're cheating on your wife? Like, oh, I'm not cheating. And people are like, well, you're talking to minors, so you have cheated on your wife with children. Guys, did you hear that? Did you hear how crazy that sounds? Cheated on his wife with children. And said, no, I did not cheat. And the guys were like, okay, these are children you've been demanding inappropriate images from. In fact, he was even chatting with one of them up until those men arrived at his door. He was still chatting with them. Because you are on Japa does not mean that you just come and do anyhow. If you're in this country, you've been in this country for a very long time and you've never entered police wahala, you should be thanking your God. It is not as if you know better, but you just know you are in a sane country. You should act sane as well. Because I don't understand what he wants. He has a wife, children. Everything was going well for him. He's going to school. His wife, they're living fine. Hello, Gist with Be My Beautiful Sis. How are you? How are you, my beautiful sis? Been a while. And the consequences he faces possibility of being jailed. His visa could be revoked and possibly deported with his wife and his children. If they decide to leave him here in the UK, I don't think they're going to let him be, because it might pose a flight risk. It might run. And you all know, in here and the abroad, all of us, we look alike a lot. He might run. Only Salo, he might run and they might start looking for him. So they might not release him on bail. And if they decide not to jail him straight away, if they want him to stay here, obviously because he's got a wife and children, the judge might just be lenient enough to consider his wife and his children. They will place him on the sex offenders register. He will never be able to work. In fact, him being able to work in the UK is in God's hands. He will definitely not be able to work with children. That one is for sure. He will never be able to work with children if he remains in the UK. And it was so surreal hearing from those men. They're actually advocating for the wife who was begging for him. They said, you know what? We advise you to protect yourself and your kids. I think that's them telling her, if she has sense, we should go and request the service of a lawyer. She should go and look for how to disengage herself from that man, because the way that man is, prison, kelele. And even the guys were telling him that, come, this prison that you are going, because of what you've done, they will have to put you in a secluded prison area. Because if they put you where all the other prisoners are, and they got wind of what you've done, you are not safe. And throughout this time that these guys were saying these things to him, Bra was not talking anymore. It has totally dawned on him. It finally dawned on him that, yes, he has put himself in hot pepper, hot soup. And the people were like, you know what, your children are going to need counseling. Your wife needs counseling, because look at her, she's crying her eyes out for you. And those minors you were talking to are also going to need counseling. And you've never for once asked how they are faring. And they said, God should have mercy on you. They called him a fake Christian. They said, you are a fake Christian. I wish I got the Bible here so I can look in for Matthew 18 verse 6. Those guys, that was the Bible verse they read to him. And yes, they advised his wife never to take him back. Never to take him back. Possibility of, he's not only meeting, he's not just talking to children alone, he's also talking to other women. Who knows, maybe he has met with all those women. He might be like a Equatorial Guinea man, no protection, no umbrella. No umbrella. Met with those multiple, possibly he's met with those possible women. He will still come back home and collaborate with his wife. Like I said, God forbid such happened to me. But if I was in that woman's case, if I was in her shoes, they're questioning him, you came in and you came out to ask what was going on, and they tell you what the matter was. More, I'm going to set my brain straight away. While they are there, I'll be helping him to pack his clothes, his belongings out of that house at an instant. and look to run my race on how I will go, disengage myself and my children, so that when he's facing courts with his wala, I'm on my side. Yes, we might be family, but he's facing a case on his own because nobody make pressure make him go do what he do. You know, it's never going to change. It's in his blood. It's in his blood. Like in the country that you know that, just like I was talking about Honorable Alex Mascot, people like them in power in Nigeria, they will behave well when they are in their abroad. When they are in their abroad, but when they get back home, they continue within their lawlessness. So he left a lawless Nigeria. That's why I said he's probably been doing it prior to him coming to the UK. He left a lawless Nigeria. He came here. It might not be rosy. Yeah, abroad might not be rosy. Yeah, they've only just arrived. Things might not be as smooth as they want, but at least they have a roof over their head and they're living fine. If you are not comfortable, comfortable and have enough time on your hands, why would you not be sitting down saying you are chatting with minors, somebody who told you that she was 14, you still continue communicating with that child? Just like people with senses have said, on a normal day, the child tells you she's 14, you stop that conversation, block the child straight away. You move on. But it's just not one, not two, not three minors, 6 in total. And there's another 3 that they are still investigating, which at the end of the day, once they finish the investigation, they're going to add it, making 9. That guy is done for. Like I said, it was a total disgrace. He is not apologetic in any way. He is not remorseful in any way. Because they asked him to apologize to his wife. And such man, for the fact that he could not even look at his wife, I don't even think he regards his wife as anything. He's one of those Nigerian men who will say, I am the husband, I am the head of the house. And whatever I say is what stands. But are you man enough? Are you man enough to head a home? It's not about being the head of the house. You have to have the attributes. You have to have the characteristics. It's not you put law down, your wife must follow. No, that's not how it works. He's one of those men. You do as I say. You do what I tell you. Now look at how he's ruined his life. The only thing I'm praying here is that his wife and his children should not be impacted in this action of his, because what he has done is a huge crime. Is a crime, even though he's not met with those children, but for the fact that he was conversing with them, asking them for inappropriate images, having inappropriate conversations with them, it's a crime, and they have evidence against him, and he admitted his guilt. Like I said, guys, if any of you want to jump onto the screen, I'll drop the link here. If anybody has 1 or 2 things to say, let me see if I can find. If any of you has 1 or 2 things to say, let me know. I'll drop a link in the comment section. If not, I'll just I'll round up. I'll round up and call it a day. I'll drop the link in the comment section. If any of you want to jump in for a couple of minutes, yes, Gist with B. Gist with B said, does the wife have hope of staying back? I'm hoping that from those guys saying that, we hope your wife never takes you back. I'm hoping they're trying to give the wife a clue. Go and see an immigration lawyer. Because she will probably be the one working full time. And the man being a student will only be able to work 20 hours. So I would imagine, even if she comes across this video, or if she's able to find anybody to give her a detailed advice, I will advise her to go and see an immigration lawyer, or start sourcing for a job that can give her COS. And she might just be lucky. God might just enter into the heart of the judge that is going to sentence him and say he should serve his time in jail and be sent back, and the wife and family should remain. I've seen cases like that. Hello, Jay, how are you? I've seen cases like that, an immigration case where the husband was arrested for doing fraud. So I was interpreting that case in a court here in Glasgow. That was about maybe about, I think it was in 2009. Was it 2009? I think it was in 2009. So they arrested this guy. He was into fraud. So they wired a lot of money through his accounts. He now went into the bank to go and collect the money. It was from while they investigated, they realized that the source of the money was, was fraud. So it was while they were waiting. They gave him a cup of coffee and tea and biscuits to sit down while they investigated. It was where it was now the police came to arrest him. So I was fortunate to be interpreting for the wife and him. So it was at the court, and they were hearing his case. Obviously, with this guy though, it was on a visiting visa, so their visa has expired. So they were pretty much living like illegal people in the UK. So the case they were going to hear his case, it was in court, and his wife was in court as well, pregnant. So while I was in court that day, I interpreted, and the judge said, obviously, it was a first-time offender, that they've not reached, they was not decided the case yet, that it will still have to go back, that they should give him time with his lawyer, because his lawyer asked that they should give time. So I remember that the wife was crying when the judge said, no, it's not going to rule yet, that they have to reconvene again. So if I think a few weeks afterwards again, I went back again to interpret for the guy. In obviously the guy claimed that he doesn't understand Scottish, English. So the guy, they asked him. So the guy came into court again, and this time around, the judge said, he should. I think by that time, the guy has been in prison for like almost 12 or almost 6 months by this time, because at the end of the day, immigration is planning to send him back, because immigration already found out that this man was an illegal immigrant. And normally, when immigration catches you like that, they don't send you back straight away. They will still have to confirm your ID. They will have to confirm your identity. They will have to confirm if you are truly Nigerian, so they are not deporting you back to the wrong country. And it's only Nigerian embassy that will be able to, confirm those details for you. So that confirmation, how Nigerian embassy work here in UK, it's the same as the way it works in Nigeria. It takes forever. So that confirmation might take months. So eventually, they were still waiting for Nigerian immigration to confirm if that guy was a Nigerian. So that was what was taking time. So I remember after that case, the judge said he wanted to hear from the immigration what they decide. And I remember after they sent him back the second time, the judge asked the guy that, who was that woman, the pregnant one that was crying? And he told me that was his wife. So we told the judge that was his wife. The third time we met at court, the judge discharged him. Amen. Let God come through for him. So when we came back again the third time to court, obviously immigration were ready to deport him and stuff like that. So when we came back the third time, obviously judge asked that who was the woman who was pregnant crying that day in court. The guy said that was his wife. So the judge said, you know what, he's dismissed the case, because at the end of the day, the man did not collect the money. The money is still in the account there. It was only going to the bank to withdraw the money, but since they arrested him now, he has no access to the money. So the judge dismissed the case mainly based on the fact that it was a first-time offender. It was a first-time offender, and the money in question that they thought he was going to take, he did not have access to it. So the judge let him go. But then immigration, so he had to go and solve his case with immigration. And it was right from there that his lawyer who was representing him was already giving him contact to an immigration lawyer. So I don't know if they are still in Glasgow now, because after me, I did my own interpretation. I just work out. But I did phone the wife to say, no, your husband has been discharged, that he's not been jailed, but immigration might hold him. And yes, immigration held him for like 24 hours, but they released him because his lawyer was still obviously contacting immigration lawyers to help him. So I don't know if they deported that man or not. In fact, I can't even remember their names anymore now. But only if God entered into that judge's mind, judge decides to jail that man and separate the wife and the man, saying, you know what, you are the offender, you will face the consequences of your action, like, maybe leave the wife and the children out of it. But then only the help of an immigration lawyer can actually help them. Or if the woman has sense, she should go and seek advice from immigration how she can, be on her own, because the way it's looking, they might decide to deport them altogether. Yeah, the man is the main applicant. They might decide to, only God can come through for them. I'm hoping that God will come through for the woman. But then the woman is the mumu. She was crying, asking her, has he been found guilty? I was like, come, your husband already admitted his guilt. He said, yes, he did it. And there's evidence, there's evidence of what he's done. And the fact that asking if a teenager, if a minor is a virgin, like, as what? You be a mother, you be a papa. Ask your own teenager daughter at home if she's a virgin. What's your business with other person's children? Just with be said, let God come through for that lady. Trauma she will face back home. It will be too much, It will be too much. Those Oyinbo people were like, your wife, your husband doesn't deserve you. That we hope you throw him out. We hope you don't take him back. That was what they were saying to her, and she was busy crying there, defending him. He has never had police problem before. He has never had police problem before. So because you are bored now, it is underage children that you should be chatting with. You don't have pals. Eh? If you instead of chatting to underage children, go and be watching TikTok. By the time you start with one video on TikTok, you'll be there till morning. You all know how addictive TikTok is. If you are bored, and you don't have anybody to talk to, go on TikTok. By the time you watch one video, if you maybe you go on TikTok at 7 o'clock, by the time you watch one video, you won't realize when it is 10 p.m. at night, because there's so many things, you're just moving from one video to another. But no, you don't think of that. It is minor underage children you are looking for on dating app. And like I said, most people who had common sense, who were thinking like, especially we married, we get picking wife. What was your business on a dating app? What business do you have on a dating app? And yes, I do agree, children should not be on a dating app. But then how many of us has actually not done what our parents advised us or warned us not to do? How many? Me, I'm pointing, I'm raising my finger up here because I have skipped school. I have jumped fence when I was in secondary school with my mates before. Yes, because yes, I had overly exposed friends while I was in secondary school. Yes, I had friends that were even smarter, that sabi things more than I do then. So they will skip school. Then airport hotel, the swimming pool there, the bar and the swimming pool. My friends go there like play almost every day. Then me, I'll be wondering where are they going? Where are they going? One day, one of them told me my childhood friend, we live on the same street. She was like, oh, let's go to this and that. I was like, if they catch you, like, oh, don't worry, we'll bribe Baba John. Baba John was our gate man. If we don't go through the front gate, if we don't have money to give Baba John, we will go through the back gate that will land us in Mende. If you know Maryland very well, you will know that there's a school, Maryland Comprehensive Secondary School. There's a gate that if you come out through that gate, it will land you in the maybe midway of Mende, Maryland. If you don't have money to give Baba John, if you want to go out like senior of SS3 students, you are a senior, so you want to go out through the gate, pose. If you don't have money to give Baba John to bribe him to allow us come out of the front gate, we'll go and jump the fence at the back of the school. Jump, enter Mende. From there, waka. Yes. Even though my parents like, Rotten, when you don't share, you know the child of whom you have. Don't frolic with bad children, no. Don't do this, don't do that, though. So let's speak to where the matter is. This man was clearly at the wrong. Like, he did the wrong. He did the wrong. You have your own family, all living together, peacefully, happily. You went to go and drag yourself into Wala. You went to go and drag yourself to Wala. And there are so many apologies on TikTok, on Instagram, there saying that they set him up. How? How did they set him up? How did they set him up? I don't understand. I was just like, no. I was like, there's no point going back and forth with all these people on Instagram because I will abuse some of them. And I don't want them to come and find me on my page and be tagging me onto useless things. That's what most of them do. When you give them back to back, they'll start tagging you, at you at so many things. I'm like, no, just to avoid all of those things. I was like, no, let me take it softly with them because they were like, what was he doing? These are they also put words into his mouth. I'm like, how did they put words into his mouth? I was like, no, go to Facebook, go and watch the video is 2 hours 7 minutes long. Go and watch it. If they think he's not done anything, the police wouldn't have taken him away. The police handcuffed him, read him his rights, and they took him away. They took him away. Anyway, guys, this is my final talk on this video. Okay, it's so disappointing that what, he's in a society that will have given his children a good start. Obviously Nigeria is not what we expect it to be right now, but he was one of the people who had the opportunity to leave, to go to another country, to obviously start a good life. But look at what he ended up putting himself into. And actually, this is not the second case this is not the second time I'm hearing of a case like this involving a Nigerian man. I think this is the third or the fourth I've heard this year. Yes, and it's from this same organization. In fact, one of them already met with the girl. Yes, he already met. It was where they were meeting, talking in the corner, that those people came in on them. So why? Oh, so you met with her. So where are you taking her to? This, that. This. We're like, oh, we're just talking. You were just talking, and you met with her. Where were you taking her to? Where were you taking her to? And then another one happened in Highland as well. It was a Nigerian guy, as I think was a chef. He was wearing like a white apron, white hat. He's also a student. A student who cannot even speak a clear English. Is there as a master's student. He knows speak correct English. I felt so disappointed. Like, you know what? These are the kind of people who are ruining the face of Nigeria here, for Nigerian people here. After all, people are like Kemi, the new conservative leader, that she's not I mean, they are trying to make her be whatever as Nigerian. Why would she? Why would she? When some of us that are Nigerians, we are here, we are putting our head down, you know. If you're in Roman, you do like the Romans, behave yourself, stay out of trouble. But some people, they believe they know everything. No, they believe they know everything, and then they make things even more difficult for Nigerians that are here. Obviously, you that you are a peaceful person, when they see other Nigerians behaving badly, they will, as time goes on, they will have to start packing both of you, all of you are together, saying you are all, well, you are all from the same country, anyways. You are all the same. That's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. Anyway, guys, I'm just going to round up here. Thank you so much, each and every one of you who have been here today. I really appreciate you. Let's sound a warning. And also, as parents, let us watch our children's devices. Let's try and snoop in on our children once in a while as to what they are doing on their mobile phones. For me, my husband, you know, he collects my children's phones at times. You know, he goes through their search histories. He does all of that. You know, so there's nothing wrong in us doing that. In as much as we want to ensure that they are safe, we should not allow them just, you know, go haywire on social media, on their devices as well. Yeah, our children might not have in mind, or they might not even have the idea of, you know, all of these apps, but from one game they are playing on their phone, and app might come on, before they know it, they press it, it's leading them to, so, you know, it's leading them to other caches and stuff like that. Before you know it, they'll find themselves in a chat or in a app that they don't even know how to get to. So hence why we should check our children's devices. Okay, we really should check our children's devices, and as parents, we will not have any reason to mourn or bite a finger over any of our children in the mighty name of Jesus. And all of these wandering bullers, all of this wandering prick that are going everywhere, our children will not come across them in the mighty name of Jesus. Anyway, guys, this is the end of my live stream. If you're watching this live stream from the beginning, feel free to drop your thoughts and opinion in the comment section. And like I said, if you're interested in that video, I will screenshot the page of that, the Facebook name of those people. I will drop it on my community tab once I finish this live stream. And if you go there, if you scroll down, maybe by the third or the fourth video is that of the guy. You find the 2-hour video there. It's crazy, guys. It's crazy. Like I said, I was going to play the video with you guys so we can watch it together, but I was not given the permission to, you know, to do that. So, and I have to agree with them for not agreeing. So if you've watched till now, if not subscribed to my channel, what are you waiting for? So don't forget to like, drop a comment in the comment section, subscribe, drop your thoughts and opinion in the comment section, and share this video. And I shall see you. Yeah, they've been paying. I was just leaving. No worries. If you have the time, feel free to watch back. I was just doing the concluding part of that Mr. Benga or something, that Mr. David that was talking to 6 minor children. So feel free to join again. Yes, there's going to be a live stream tomorrow, and also I'm going to come here for about maybe 20 minutes tomorrow so I can give instruction on the giveaway for the end of the year thingy on my channel. So yes, I'm about to give 3 things out for the end of the year giveaway. So I'm going to come live maybe in the afternoon after church, maybe about 2 o'clock, do a short live stream, tell you guys how to enter the giveaway, and then we'll take it from there. All right, thank you so much, and do have a lovely Saturday, and I shall see you all tomorrow. All right, bye.